Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey. You guys have to let me know if you can hear noise.
A little bit, but it's not bad.
They're like outside I'm getting like the roof redone and they're outside like right behind this window. It's like I can
Is
hear
it deafening for you?
I mean it's like very evident it's happening.
You want to give a few minutes to let everyone sign in?
What's your kitty's name?
Mia.
Oh.
I kind of feel like I'm Dr. Evil when I'm on a call and one of the cats sits in front of me. I'm petting
You said it.
it.
Is it pure black?
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool.
She looks a little brown in the sunlight.
I couldn't tell. It looked like it was maybe like a diluted dark calico.
Oh yeah, like what are those, torties?
Yes.
Yeah.
So cute.
Look at that. And goodbye.
Holly's here.
Bye.
Hello, my beautiful ladies of Triple Seat.
All right.
How's everyone's week going?
Phase 3
Really
starts
good.
Monday. Woo!
Phase 2 starts Monday in New York.
That's so exciting.
You're gonna get this taken care of.
Do you have your hair appointment already scheduled?
I have already done it. I did it a while ago, and then she's like, "We'll move everybody to like, we'll just keep moving you guys." And then I booked another one just to be sure, and then I messaged her on Facebook and email. I am ready.
Yeah, that's the one nice thing. My best friend is also my hairstylist, and he always does my hair at home. So right before we went into phase 2, he actually called me and he was like, "Hey, I need to practice on somebody with them wearing a mask and me wearing a mask. So can I come to your house and do your hair?" And I was like, yes.
Nice.
That's amazing.
I'm so jealous.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I guess we can kick off right now. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a smaller group today. But I'm Lisa Tevis, and I'm the hotel marketing manager at Triple C. We are going to be talking today about continuing to talk about reopening, continuing to talk about how events are trending, and we actually have a poll that we're going to share with everybody to kick off, just to see like what else is top of mind that we can kind of share as a group. Awesome. So Rachel just shared that. Mm-hmm. So we'll just see where everyone is. I'll respond from like a Georgia perspective too.
I'll respond from a New Jersey perspective.
Yeah. And then what I'm curious about, since we're just talking about the phases, I'd love to hear like what the different phases mean, because I think that they're different by state, right? Or are the phases the same?
No, I think it's different, right?
So Holly, what's phase 3 look like for you guys, if you don't mind sharing?
So phase 3 for Metro, and so that's how I could tell you phases are different, because phase 3 for Metro versus phase 3 for the state are a little bit different. So what it means for us is bars serving food and restaurants may continue to operate at 75% capacity or to the maximum occupancy that can maintain social distancing, whichever is less. Mm-hmm. Bar areas now may open to the public at 50% or less of maximum seated counter space, but nobody can still stand at the bar. Mm-hmm. No parties of more than 6 at a table. Blech. Yeah, I know, Whitney, I was pissed. That was the one thing and he said that this phase could last up to a month, and I was like, no, I need 10 at a table.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't like him. We're gonna just leave it there.
34% tax hike. Guess who's not getting voted next term? Anyway,
Yeah.
self-service, food, beverage, and shared condiments are not permitted. I think that's like the main thing. Our takeout sales remain right now. Live music or entertainment is now allowed, but there's still no dance floors permitted.
Have they gone down Broadway? Sorry.
I know.
Did you hear about the 4 bars that got
Sure did.
their beer license taken away?
No.
Why?
Because they're not following the rules. Kid Rock's bar had like 400 people in it the other night, and there were pictures. Nobody's wearing their mask, and so yeah, they got a huge citation, which made me super happy.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
That's the main part of this phase for restaurants. It says personal gatherings are recommended to be kept at 25 people or fewer I can't read what the hell that says, to extend possible. I don't know what that means. But event-based venues and small music venues must cap maximum attendance or crowd size at half capacity or 250 attendees, depending on the venue capacity. So that's a little bit of positive that wasn't in our other phases.
That's a lot to keep track of.
Seriously.
Oh, and that's just for Nashville. I get to keep track of it for the state as well.
And it's more lax, right? Like in the rest of the state, it's a little bit more.
I was in Smyrna over the weekend, which is like literally right over the Nashville line. And my baby daddy and I went to a restaurant, and we sat down, and like there were people everywhere. Like nobody was wearing a mask. The servers were, but people were sitting at the bar right next to each other. Like I could touch the person next to me at the table next to me. I was like, y'all are acting like there's no COVID in this place.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's what Eric Dickinson is our director of sales for the West Coast, and he's out of Dallas. And when we talked to him, remember Nicole and Azure, we talked to him last week on a call, and he basically was like, you would not even know in Texas and Dallas that there was a pandemic. He was like, it is as if
Texas's numbers are going up. Like I just read that the other day.
Yeah.
And last week when we were talking, Vegas was about the same situation too, right? People were walking. Yeah. Who had talked to us?
Nicole Ortega.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But somebody said that Austin might be shutting down again, I think, right? Are they? Has anybody heard that?
I haven't heard that. The only thing I heard was the Miami mayor said this morning, like, if I need to shut back down, I will.
Arizona is doing the same thing. I think in Phoenix, I read this morning that Phoenix is like moving back in the phases. And so I know that was like one of the questions as we were like brainstorming topics today, and what to talk about is if any of y'all's restaurants have like talked about that, or like debated if you had to move back, like how that would be handled, or if it's even coming up right now.
We haven't talked about it. I'm just covering my ears if everybody even mentions it, because I don't want to do it. I mean, I don't see our governor doing it, to be honest with you, but we were also that state that like waited the longest and opened the soonest type thing. So, but you know, when they first rolled out phases, they said, you know, every phase could be, about 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks. And like this phase that was just released today, that starts Monday, they said it will most likely be in place for at least a month. Mm-hmm. So that means phase 4 wouldn't be till, mid-July anyway right now.
And is phase 4 like back to business as usual?
Pretty much. It's more, I don't know, because like everything they released when they first said here's all the phases, they've totally redone throughout the time. But phase 4 is more like the concert venues can be open again, and like bars can be open at full capacity and that kind of stuff. So it seems very much like almost completely back to business. So I don't know. I have a hard time believing we would be in phase 4 in mid-July right now. Yeah. Especially since I can't even sit 10 people to a table.
Yeah.
Well, we the last few days have been, I think today I had 6 inquiries and 3 go to contract.
Nice.
Which is incredible. And we're just like really being proactive with trying to be creative in the seating process. So like I have a 25th wedding anniversary that is booking for next week, and we are going to do several tables of 6, and they want to do a sweetheart table.
Oh.
So people are pretty good with that as long as we're keeping everyone 6 feet apart.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are all you said how many went to contract today?
3.
3. Are they all within the next month?
One is 2 are this month, and 1 is for end of August.
That's great.
Are they social or corporate?
1 pharmaceutical and 2 social.
I had a corporate group that booked on Tuesday for next Tuesday. They're coming from California, and I literally almost shit my pants when she signed the contract. I was like, this isn't happening. This is one of those scammers. He's gonna tell me he needs to pay by wire transfer.
Wire the money.
Yeah, like this isn't happening. But yeah, they're a new company. They're medical, but more like I think like anesthesiology or something.
Wow.
And 30 people. We're sitting them at tables of 6.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I almost cried.
Isn't it weird when your phone rings and it's like someone who wants to ask you, like they're inquiring about your space, and you're just like doing everything you can to not be like, oh my God, I'm so excited you're calling me. I'll give you anything you want if you dine with us. I don't even care.
It makes me feel like I did like when I first started sales, like when I was like you'd ring a bell because you made a sale.
Oh, I've been ringing every bell. I'm like, I booked something. I did my job today. I booked something.
I mean, and who would have thought like even 3.5 months ago that you'd be so excited about like 1, 2, or 3 sales.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So huge. It's great though. That's I feel like that's the first week they're talking where stuff is like more than like, please, we hope, and there's actual contracts being like, that's really big.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
awesome.
great that it's pharmaceutical too. I heard like that's the industry that's coming back like first.
Yes.
Yeah, because they have so much money to spend. They haven't been able to spend money for the last 3 months. So I'm like, do it. Let's do this.
Well, I mentioned to somebody this morning because we also work with Easy Cater, and like our Easy Cater has been like dead. And then all of a sudden, the past 2 weeks, it started to pick up, and it's all medical offices. And I'm like, if these medical offices are willing to share a half pan of biscuits with each other, then that goes to show me that like we're getting there, just slowly, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maz, do we want to put up the results?
Sure.
Awesome.
So we asked, how have you currently reopened? And most of the people here are outdoor dining only. There's some indoor and outdoor social distancing, and then some are still only doing pickup. And then what topics we're interested in talking about mostly today: event and private dining rebooking. And then Ty for general reopening and social media marketing tips and ideas.
Nobody wants to talk about COVID response plans.
Holly said it's not happening. She doesn't.
Cover your ears.
Right.
That's awesome. Cool. So, okay. So on the topic of reopening, for anybody who I know Holly and Whitney, you guys have been open for a while. Is there anyone else on the call who's like just reopened or only been open for a couple of weeks and can share how it's going, or wants to talk through any like questions that they have on that strategy? I know we just had a few more people join.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
This is my first Triple C webinar that I'm actually live and can see you guys. But we just started our reopening June 4th. We're actually a rooftop venue in Anaheim, California. So we're lucky enough that our entire venue is outdoors. So there's the plus to that. The downside, kind of, California is just sent out a new set of guidelines where the little sentence at the bottom says no private parties.
Ugh.
So it went from no guidelines at all and really no, direction on how to do it safely, just make it up as you go, to absolutely you cannot do anything. It's strange though, because a lot of the local venues are promoting that they are going to be doing private events. We have some on the books for July, June and July. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that goes.
I mean, but who's regulating that a group of 6 is a private party or not? Like, how is that distinguishable?
Well, that's like kind of the great question. A lot of our full rooftop buyouts, our max capacity is 300 on a good day. With social distancing, it's about 150, which is still a really good number, especially because all of our private events for July are under that. They're like small weddings for 75 to 85. We have the fear that one of the guests is going to be from the health department, or, it's kind of like scary, but it's like we can do this safely by abiding by social distancing with our floor plan, with our service and everything. And I don't know really what's the difference between that and opening to 150 people for reservations who don't know each other.
Right.
So it's kind of strange over here. We have our wedding on July 3rd, which is about 95 guests, and it is a wedding. So we're kind of running into I had to remove the dance floor off of the floor plan because I can't promote things like that. But am I going to police if a father and his sons want to dance with each other and then their friends and family come and join in? It's just kind of craziness.
Is there a possibility that you might move to the next phase prior to that so that you have a little bit more leeway, or is there any?
I am hoping. We're really hoping. They kind of went backwards, I feel, with us. They opened up bars, clubs, and breweries, but then said no private gatherings. Kind of backwards, in my opinion. But we're hopeful that they're going to come out with some guidelines. They just said that in the meantime, until they can come up with their own set of guidelines. For now, we've just been working on staff cleanliness and, protocols, procedures, new bar equipment, new, sneeze. I don't really like to call them sneeze guards because that is not really a cute name to tell your clients, but, for tray past appetizers, little sneeze guards for those. And
now, are you getting inquiries still? And bookings?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
We have seen a large increase in social gatherings. It used to be all convention based for us because we're right down the street from the convention center. That was about 50+% of our sales. Now conventions are kind of a thing of the past until 2021.
Yeah.
But now it's all social gatherings, like weddings that postponed and just want to do their reception now, or engagement parties, or people who just want to get out of the house and celebrate their birthday. So small parties and mostly socials.
Wow. It's great that it's picking up though.
Yeah, it's a love-hate because we're on the standstill. You don't want to lose them, but you also don't want to tell them yes and then take their money and then refund them.
Yeah, I feel like you still have to have those kind of loose refund policies in place right now for at any moment, or doing some of the things we've talked about on previous calls, like giving them the credit back so that they're still rebooking with you, but yeah.
We definitely had to tweak our contract. I'm pretty sure there's not any company out there who hasn't taken a hard, long look at their contract, force majeure, that part in particular. So we've definitely made some tweaks and probably went the more strict route with it.
Yeah, so at the beginning of all this, we had a couple events that Rachel Mazzola, who's here hosting as well, had booked for us that, there was nothing that was going to stop us. We didn't think that we were ever going to have to cancel these events and to have to go and review those force majeure clauses, which are literally in place for like mostly natural disasters and you just don't anticipate that there's going to be, especially at the beginning when we were in this, I think it was like so much more nuanced, and now we can step back and be like, holy crap, like collectively that we had to all look at those clauses and everyone kind of had to throw up their hands and be like, you can have whatever you need back at this point, like, which is unusual for the events industry, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know also like some of the things that people are looking at in terms of like private events and even restaurant dining is like not necessarily things that are in their contracts, but like policies that they're having to like share with their guests to prepare them to come for the event, or even just like come and dine in the restaurant. In California, Michaela, are masks required right now, or at least where you are?
So they actually just in Orange County passed that masks are no longer required. They're
Okay.
just recommended. So that is a new one. I've actually had 2 events with the contract out, ready to go, call me and say, are you recommending masks in these areas? Are you going to make my, our restaurant in particular, we require masks in the elevator because we're rooftop. So you have to ride the small elevator to get up. Who's to say you're not with another reservation? That would be another employee we'd have to staff. So we are requiring it in public areas, and they just completely did not sign the contract after that. So it's something that we are discussing. Orange County doesn't require it, but then it gets into your regular reservation guest and how comfortable they are coming to dine at your restaurant again if, you're fitting 4 or 5 people they don't know in a elevator without a mask on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Azure shared an article with our team today that, what was it, Azure? It was like something like masks help reduce the spread by like 75%.
75%. Yeah, let me find that article. It was from Event Manager blog, and it's this really great guide about before, during, and after planning your live events in a pandemic.
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat for anyone that's interested, but it's so funny. I would like totally have signed that no matter what the mask policy was. Like, that just seems like the safer option.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you found the link.
Is
It makes me giggle because of the amount of people we have that don't even read our contract.
Oh my gosh.
Can we take that food to go? No, you signed a contract that the food does not go. Oh, we didn't read that.
It still surprises me how many people don't read their contracts and just sign off on it. 20,000, just, I don't care.
And what about like the folks in Tennessee and anybody else on the call? Have you guys had like to enforce anything that people were either like not aware of, or, like I know in Tennessee, you don't have to wear the masks, right?
Our staff does, but you're not. Some restaurants are requiring it, I heard, but I haven't seen any. I don't know if you have, Whitney. But our staff has to wear them. And that's another one where it's kind of funny because in the state, the back of house staff does not have to wear them, but in Metro, the back of house staff does have to wear them. Which to me, that's the staff that I would want wearing them the most because they're making my food. Right.
Wait, what did you just say, Holly? The back of the house doesn't have to?
In the state.
Oh, but Davidson County, yes.
Got it. Okay. I was like, wait, what? I feel like we've missed a whole lot.
No. In the state, the back of house at phase 3 did not have to wear them anymore.
Phase 3, got it. Okay.
Phase 3.
Carol, are you also in Tennessee?
Yeah, I work with Whitney. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Holly. Good to see you.
Yeah, we have 6 restaurants and Carol manages basically all of them. She's a rock star.
Awesome.
Getting there, yeah. No longer. Failing miserably.
How's everybody's service doing? Like, are you guys seeing that you're like getting back to as much capacity as you can, or is it still kind of like a trickle, or how's like actual service going outside of events for everyone?
I would say for us, we have one restaurant that's not in Davidson County, which is where Holly and Whitney and I, mainly our restaurants are in Davidson County. That restaurant's succeeding. They're doing the best in our company right now, actually, because they have less restrictions. They moved to phase 3 first. And so they're doing better. Like a lot of anything that's in a neighborhood where our other restaurants are Metro, so it's like downtown area, and a lot of the hotels are still closed. So until they reopen, they're at like 3 to 15% capacity. So we have no walk-in business. We, it's mainly anniversaries, birthdays, couples, it's date night, people willing to go out. But no, we're not, like, the foot traffic is like closer to home people, like for our neighborhood restaurant.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason right now, which is what me and my GM at Deacons were talking about today. Like, we had 30 covers for lunch today, and we were jumping up and down.
Huge, Holly.
Yeah, we were like, they walked in, we had 3 different six tops. I was like, what is going on? This is amazing. And like our Puckett's had a very like steady weekend where we're bringing on more staff now because we're seeing that it's slowly trending. But, like I was just talking to our manager here before the call, and she's like, so that's a hope, we're bringing people back and it's going to be busy again. And, but if it's not, what do we do with them now? So it's, it's kind of a weird situation.
I mean, Etch is our fine dining restaurant downtown.
Which is amazing.
Oh, dang. We did 70 covers for dinner on Monday night. And a majority of that was walk-ins, which was huge. And then the next night, I think we did like 30. Yeah. So it's just like, it's so hit or miss. And our GM here at Etch, he was like, the moment I call someone off,
get busy,
we get caught with our pants down. And I'm like, pretty much. So I was like, keep calling them off. Like, keep it coming.
Murphy's Law or whatever.
Crazy, but we'll take it. I mean, we'll our servers are like, we're in the weeds, but we're so excited to be in the weeds. And I'm like, oh God. Baby steps.
Takeout business is still killing it though at most of our other restaurants. It's just curbside and takeout mainly,
Yeah, and I actually I visited about 25 hotels last week in the downtown area. And like Carol said, I mean, the occupancy was like ridiculously stupid, but busy for right now. But I mean, they were like, there was some that were saying like they had like 30 and 40% occupancy on the weekends, which felt like 90% because they only have like 5 people in the whole hotel working.
Wow.
And I went yesterday. I was on a Zoom call several weeks ago, and this hotel reached out to me and they were like, hey, we're not reopening our restaurant until capacity's at like 50 to 75%. Would you like backdoor cater for this event that we have? And I was like, yes, but what does backdoor mean? She's like, they think our restaurant is open. So we just need it to not be like it's coming from your restaurant. I'm like, oh, I don't really care as long as you pay me. So I went yesterday and I served 48 people. And I was like, I kind of feel weird about this, but I also kind of collected like $800. So I don't really care. So, I mean, it's like they're starting to see trends of things opening, but it's a majority of the business is going to be not the business traveler during the week. It's people just trying to get a good deal and book through like the Expedias and those types of things. So their price point is not typically fine dining, which kind of sucks because that's where Etch's price point is, but it's okay. Okay. You can get a salad. It's great. Roasted cauliflower.
Yeah, I think that I was checking out some like trends on, things are picking up. I actually had heard that like fine dining was one of the areas that were slower to come back, just because of like discretionary spending and people being still cautious right now. But that's awesome that you guys had so many walk-ins. And what the article was saying was that like with Father's Day around the corner this weekend, and then like the 4th of July in a few weeks, there's like enough reasons where people are like starting to get out. And it was basically saying that like it's a comfort thing. Like once folks feel good about dining out again or like having events out again, and especially if there's like the opportunity for outdoor dining, that like those people will continue to dine out. It's really just like getting out there and having a good experience and feeling like things are positive. So I don't know if anybody's seeing that as well, that like once some of their regulars start to come back, they're like regulars once again. But
Have any of you all been to a restaurant? 'Cause I haven't, but that's just me. You have?
Oh yeah.
Holly, you've been out.
I haven't. They're closed in New York until Monday.
okay.
I've been to Etch. I was one of Etch's first lunch customers.
No, I was just at one earlier this week, and it was like one of the first days that this restaurant had opened by like where we work. So me and a couple colleagues went to it, and I mean it was good. They have a small patio, so they only had like 5 or something tables, but it was just like you can tell they were just kind of trying to figure it out. Like you had to order the food through like an app, and they would bring it out to you. Like you couldn't order it through like the server there, and they would.
Weird.
You could only order for drinks. You could only order Pinot Grigio, a margarita, or beer, and that was all they were doing.
You
Yeah.
think that because can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, my Zoom's been weird lately. Do you think that that's just a cost control thing at this point? Like limiting the offerings? Like it was like purchasing, and I don't know, you guys would know better on the venue side. Like
That doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest. I mean, I've heard of, like, my parents right now are in Pittsburgh, and my mom called me all bitchy the other day because she couldn't get her Blue Moon when she was at this bar. And I had to explain to her that if it was draft beer and it was already tapped, they probably don't have any more right now. And you have to remember these restaurants are literally reopening.
Right.
And draft beer does go bad after a certain time. So when they're reopening and they have to order all the food again, they're not going to also order all the beer again. And she was like, oh. So, like, I've heard about that for beer, but to me, like, liquor doesn't go bad. If anything,
Margarita and a Pinot Grigio, those
Yeah.
are chick drinks, and it's just the weirdest.
That's a very weird. What restaurant were you at, girl?
Very strange combination.
It's a
Could it have been a time-saving thing since they didn't have a lot of people on staff and they just only wanted to have a couple
Maybe,
drinks?
but a margarita takes a minute. Like, it's easier to make a vodka soda or a Jack and Coke.
I mean, it was a Mexican restaurant, so I feel like
Oh, they got that shit on, like, pictures. That's what that is.
but
They got that pre-made for months.
it was
Oh God.
It's also funny to see like other diners like in the area. There was this one woman who tried to pay with cash, and they were like, "We're only taking credit cards right now." And she kind of like threw a little fit. She was like, "Oh, that's ridiculous," blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, lady, don't come if you're gonna."
Stay home. Come on. Oh, obnoxious.
Think of the cash.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Carol.
Do other states do you guys take cash? We take cash, so.
We take cash in California. I'm not
In
sure.
Georgia, they're starting to take cash, but it's like definitely not preferred. I was at the farmer's market this weekend, so a little different, but like, and I had like the exact amount in cash, but I was like, do you want this? Would you rather have my card? I know there's like credit card fees, and they ended up taking the cash because it was such a small amount, but like, I feel like it's still the trend, like pay with a card. They wipe down like everywhere I've been, it's like wipe down the card, use a clean pen. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We should be probably.
Sounds like it.
It made me, I was like, oh, that was really nice. Thanks. Like, I mean, I feel like generally I'm just like washing my hands before and after everything and just trying to be smart, but it's like it's like those types of things that are nice gestures that I'm like, okay, cool. Like they kind of know what they're doing and I feel good about it. So.
I mean, I personally, I got invited.
You froze, Whitney.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like,
You got invited to what? You froze, buddy.
oh, am I back?
You're back.
Now you are frozen.
Hear you.
Darn concrete building. I got invited to a networking event next month, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Which one? Which one? I want to know.
Heels, right?
Y'all are frozen, by the way.
Heels and handshakes, Holly.
Was it Heels? You could go to Heels because I'm doing the reg and I'm making everyone wear a mask.
I'll tell her.
I'm going to be the mask Nazi. And if you're not wearing a mask, you're getting kicked out.
What is this networking group?
Heels and handshakes.
Heels and handshakes. It was started by a woman here who just wanted like a group of girls that were in the industry to be able to like get together once a month and like have a drink and talk about the industry and whatever. And like 4 years later, it's now a paid membership. And she started it with a paid membership in January and already got 100 members. Our goal by the end of the year is 200 members. But I do registration for it. So when we were talking about it, and she even said, she's like, do you feel comfortable doing registration? I was like, yeah, because everyone's wearing a mask. They're not coming in if they're not wearing it. And the place where it's at Brooklyn Bowl, and they're requiring people to wear masks in order to enter. So you're safe to go to Heels, Whitney.
It wasn't Heels, ma'am, but thank you.
But you did get invited to Heels, though, and you said
Was it the summer social? Because that's the one I'm feeling weird about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. Because I've already been to a Tweeza Mixer where they put on the invite, wear your mask, and I got there and not one person was wearing it, and it really made me angry. I wanted my $10 back, but I didn't do it.
You guys are having networking events. Like, that's wild to me. Like, where we
Tweeza,
are, you know,
Tweeza was the first one that did it. And I think I told y'all about it because it was outside.
Yeah.
And it was super hot.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do southern states do these outdoor networking events during the
because
freaking
it's safer
summer?
right now to be outside.
90.
But does it make you feel more comfortable going to an event where, like, up front in the invitation, it's like masks will be required, we will be outside, like, we're only limiting?
Well, and that's why I originally went to it, because I was like, okay, they're making everyone wear a mask. Like, I feel okay about that. And then when I got there and they weren't, and then they had tables of 10 set up and everybody was like sitting right next to each other. And I was like, I love you guys, but not this much. Like, not enough to get corona because of you. No.
Were the organizers wearing masks?
Nope, not even the bartenders were wearing masks.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I stayed for 30 minutes and I left.
But it is, like, interesting to see that, like, groups are trying to get people together again, and, like, how it's, like, obviously you said you wouldn't go back to another one that they're doing, and, like, Heels and Handshakes, you know you're going to be enforcing those rules so you feel more comfortable. So
yeah, there's 3 mixers next month. So Heels and Handshakes are having one, MPI is having one, and Tweeza is having one. And the MPI one, I'm also planning because I'm special projects board. So that one will also be very safe because I will again be the mask Nazi.
yeah. Sorry. I was going to say,
like, we're trying to think about, you know, when to relaunch our party people events, and where, you know, our, like,
Nashville.
Thrown off. I know, but I'm like, seriously.
Only if you do registration, Holly.
Okay, I'm in.
You'll be our mask enforcer.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's like we haven't even really been able to have that conversation yet because we're like, well, we know, like, you know, wherever we go, it is going to be more local, but, like, I don't know. We just haven't really thought that anyone would go to a networking event yet. So that's promising. It's, like, really promising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just on a call for Heels. We talked about where our locations are for the rest of the year. There's a couple that have dropped out, so we have to fill spaces. But, you know, I'm on the MPI board, and I had a meeting on Saturday talking about what we're doing for the rest of the year. So I think there's people that want to start getting out, and it's kind of one of those things where, like, if you don't feel comfortable like Whitney, then just don't go. You know, there are people that feel comfortable. I'm not trying to point her out. She knows I love you.
Whatever.
She's not coming to my baby shower either, so just so y'all know.
Sorry, it's on my mom's birthday, ma'am. Like, we have plans. And I bought you nice gifts, and I got your thank you note. It was very cute.
But anyway, so, like, you know, it's the same thing with my dad. Like, my dad has diabetes. He's over 65. He's only comfortable going to restaurants that are outside. That's fine. You know, there are people that are, you know, feel okay going out. And if you do, I think it's your prerogative. So, you know, as far as party people, I think you guys can start considering it towards the end of the year and just know that it might be a lower attendance than normal.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the way we're going with it with MPI. Like, a normal mix is about 80 people, and we're projecting 50 for everything.
What is party people? I'm new to Triple Seat.
Oh, Whitney. So
He doesn't know.
party people is just the name we've given. We have a program that goes along with it, but it's the name we've given our events that we do, our local events, where we get to, all of our Triple Seat users in local markets together to network and meet each other.
Cool.
Us, and we, like, a bunch of us come to them. We kind of change but it's so we get to know people in person, and also for, you know, it's another networking opportunity for event planners as well, event managers, or, you know, in local communities. So.
I think you guys haven't done one in Nashville in a while. I feel like the last one was at Wild Horse.
Well, it's because we did event camp. So
oh, that's right.
Why we didn't really end up doing, because we did Nashville event camp. So yeah, the last one might have been Wild Horse.
Whitney, I just put the party people link in the chat.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a fun, I remember that night.
And
part of it.
Yeah, I was still the only person on the marketing team then, Holly. There was just one of us at the time. So.
Oh, wow.
It's a long time ago.
That was a minute.
It was like 2016. It was before event camp had ever happened. It was 2000. Yeah, it was 2000.
Yeah, I was at because I was at Prima back then.
Yeah, that's really. It was before Wild Horse had renovated, so it was like old Wild Horse too. It was like totally different. Anyway, we digress. But party people events are really fun, and whenever we're in your neck of the woods, you guys better come, because you guys have been so awesome on these calls. It's been really great.
Leta, are we giving out triple seat mask swag at these upcoming events?
We are currently sourcing masks and sanitizer and little get back to work kits. Yeah, we're sourcing those.
That's cool.
So, yeah, we have two styles. Like, we're gonna do real masks, and we're gonna do like the bandana-y ones that people like, the gaiters that some people like. So we will make sure to get all of our social hour attendees specifically, you know, for being so great. Lisa had to jump off the call, you guys, just so you know. She wasn't just abandoning us. But
Girl, can I help you?
Maz, should we take this opportunity to talk to the folks we have on the call about maybe the direction we could take with these, since like people are getting back to work? We feel like it's getting to be a lot. You want to kind of?
Yeah. So, I mean, we definitely want to continue doing these. I put together like a little poll to see like how you guys feel about like what day of the week works best, like what time works best, and like how frequent you'd like to see us keep doing these. Because I think it has been like a really great source of information for everybody during, you know, times where we were just forced to be at home and had no like social interaction. But we definitely want to like kind of flesh these out a little more and keep doing them.
And we want to take a different direction once, you know, COVID is a thing of the past. These can be these virtual party people events where you're still talking to people all around the country and getting ideas, you know, whether that's menu, but just connecting people. And we also might want to, we're working on getting a Slack channel for invite everyone in to keep the conversations going afterwards.
Yeah,
I use Slack. We love it.
I keep telling Leta I get invited, or like I find all these random like event planner like Slack channels, and they're great just because like, I don't know, if you're stuck or just wondering what other people are doing, it's like a quick like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And then people just, or
just being able to, I remember when I was doing events and being like, I had to like secret shop for when I was finding out how people did their share menus. Like I had to actually like secret shop to get them from other people versus just being like, why not just ask somebody? I didn't know who to ask at the time. So,
oh my gosh, I was a secret shopper once too. It's so awkward. Awesome. But yeah, or if you guys have any like suggestions on top, like we're always looking for like new topics to discuss. I think like right now we're still very like reopening heavy. But
yeah, we wanted to try to maybe bring in speakers at some point, or like kind of make them more panelists. But yeah, you guys being a bunch of core, you know, participants is helpful for us. Nicole, take yourself off mute. We want to hear how Vegas is going.
Yeah.
All right, I had this call and I was so upset they wanted to do it at 12:30 my time, because I'm like, crap, I'm gonna miss my social hour. And then I wanted to eat something really quick, but it's going well. So there have been, you know, some reports, unfortunately, about some coronavirus outbreaks, which I think we're gonna see it's gonna happen with venues reopening. So a lot of venues are now going to try and do like the block scheduling, which is something we kind of started doing as well. So that's been good to hear. More people are going that route. We actually have been doing so well. We're adding an extra day for Beauty in Essex. And tonight our Italian restaurant Lavo at the Palazzo opens. So we're super excited about that. And then one of our bigger properties, Marquee, is opening the day club, but it's just going to be like a pool where you can order food and like book a cabana. You can still order drinks and bottles, but it's more so meant to be like kind of like a lunch, brunch, you know, like loungy type thing. It won't actually be like packed. There won't be like general admission. So we'll see how that goes. But apparently, from what we've been hearing, the hotels are like selling out with their, you know, cabana and even like their pool chairs that normally guests can just like go and hang out at. They're selling them now. So that's exciting. We're really, really super excited about that property opening. And then we just have one more giant towel venue at the Venetian. But that, it's just such a big space. I think we're kind of running into challenges in like, how do you make sure it doesn't look like you're walking into a dead restaurant with nobody there. So we'll see.
And what about events, Nicole?
Yeah, that's been really hard. I have got a lot of inquiries, honestly, a lot for like end of June, July, August. But as soon as I tell them, bye, Holly, as soon as I tell them that we have to have their tables split up no more than 10 guests per table, and you have to be 6 to 8 feet away, they're like, well, I'm not going to sign a contract or pay for a set menu. So then they end up going a la carte, you know, at least they're coming. But for events, it's just been really hard. And I just got off a call with a group. I have 1,000 people in December, and they're obviously really worried. And I'm like, you know, let me send you what we're doing right now, and let's kind of chat down the road, maybe in September, because I would think we would have a pretty good idea of what the fall is going to look like around then. You know, are we still going to have all the restrictions with group sizes and tables and things like that? We totally could. Who knows? But at least they didn't cancel. I totally thought they wanted to cancel. I was like, yes, I will send you everything we're doing. Yay. Please come.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah. But it's going good. You know, like we're just honestly focusing on 2021. The rest of the year, I think, is just going to be hit or miss. You know, what can we get? What groups still want to come? You know, what our dinner's going to look like? I really believe that. But 2021 is looking really good. You know, people are wanting to book for January, February, which is great. A lot of people have just been totally honest with me and said their 2020 corporate travel is banned, which I get. You know, the companies don't want to take responsibility for that, but at least they're coming back next year. You know, that's great.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've talked to a lot of salespeople like in the city, and they're pretty much seeing the same trend. So it made me feel better because I was like, maybe they're just not booking with me. What's going on?
Well, from the event planner side, every like event planner friend I have, we're all miserable. We like cannot wait to just start booking again.
I know. It's hard.
Right.
Mads, you want to share those results?
Sure. So Thursday still seems to be like the best day for these, which is great. And still like late afternoon works best for most. And then we're split on once a week and every other week. So either or.
We're adding it out every week until, you know, people say every other week, and then we get moved to that.
I love them, honestly, because obviously we're just starting to reopen, but I like learned so much from everyone, and I've been sharing everything with our restaurant teams. Like Holly has shared so much great information with us, even just in regards to like contracting and stuff. So I mean, without her, you know, maybe we wouldn't have been talking about some of these things and kind of changing the way that we're doing things, changing our contracts and whatnot. So I love them. I know I was a little late today, but honestly, I hope we can continue doing them every week, maybe just for a while. But I mean, I think we all kind of get a little bit out of it. You know what I mean? Like different things for everyone.
Yeah, as long as people are getting something from it, we just don't want to, you know, we want it to be of value. So, and I think we learn so much too. Connecting and actually having a dialogue with you guys is been huge for us in being able to know what kind of content to generate and being able to share that information. It's huge. It's really helpful.
Definitely. I know we have 10 minutes. Is there anything else anybody on the call want to discuss or was like curious about what other people are doing or any general questions?
I did have a restaurant question. So right now we're running into a problem where we're maxing out our sales just because people tend to linger. Has anybody set durations or added new policies to the amount of time your guests stay? Has that been taken well if you have?
We have been, we've been doing out buys, especially on the days where we already know our books are completely full. We may try and get some walk-ins, but we'll let them know, you know, your party of 12, you know, we need these tables back at this time. Are you okay with that? And honestly, nobody complains about it. They're like, that's fine. But especially on those days where we know we're going to get some kind of walk-in traffic from the hotel, mostly like Fridays and Saturdays, we do have to set the out buys, but it hasn't been like negatively received.
Okay.
I went to a restaurant in Rhode Island and you had to like make reservations, but there was set time blocks you had to do it for. So it would be like from 12 to like 1:30 and you would have to show up at your time and then 15 minutes before your time was up. So like if I go at 12, 15 minutes before 1:30, they would come around and be like, you guys, like, we have to like sanitize this table in 15 minutes. So like you have to, they didn't say you have to leave. They said something much nicer.
Yeah.
Their words.
But and in my head, I was like, oh, I can't believe I've been here for almost 2 hours. Like I could have kept staying, but I thought they did like a really nice job. And I think everybody was pretty understanding about it too.
Great.
Any other general questions from the group? No. I mean, if there's nothing else, I think we can end probably like a little early today if everyone needs to get back to work.
You guys are fabulous. Thank you for joining us. Please come again next week.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you
Have a
guys.
good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.